Henry David Thoreau was a man who marched to the beat of his own drum. Born in Concord, Massachusetts in 1817. Amidst the clamor and chaos, Thoreau sought a different path. He yearned for a life closer to nature, a life of simplicity. Best known for Walden, reflecting on his 2 years by Walden Pond. His essay Civil Disobedience inspired generations of activists. Thoreau's writings were not merely academic exercises. They were born from his own experiences, his own struggles and triumphs. He believed in living deliberately, in engaging with the natural world, and in challenging societal norms that stifled individual expression and freedom. His retreat to Walden Pond was not an act of escapism, but rather a bold experiment in living. He wanted to prove that one could live a fulfilling life without the trappings of material wealth and societal expectations. By stripping away the superfluous, Thoreau sought to uncover the essential truths of life. His writings, often infused with vivid descriptions of nature and introspective observations, challenged his readers to question their own values and priorities. He urged them to look beyond the superficial and embrace a life of simplicity, self-reliance, and moral integrity. Thoreau's voice, though silent for over a century and a half, still speaks to us today. In a world grappling with environmental crises, social injustices, and a relentless pursuit of material gain, his message resonates with renewed urgency. His call to simplify, to connect with nature, and to resist unjust laws remains as relevant as ever. Thoreau's legacy is not just about living in the woods. It's about living a life true to oneself, a life guided by principles of justice, compassion, and respect for all living things. In the following sections, we will delve deeper into the life and works of this remarkable individual, exploring the influences that shaped his thinking, the core tenets of his philosophy, and the enduring impact of his ideas on the world we live in today. Henry David Thoreau's journey began in Concord, Massachusetts on July 12, 1817. Born into a modest family, Thoreau's early life was shaped by hard work and intellectual curiosity.
From a young age, Henry displayed a deep connection to nature. The woods and rivers of Concord became his sanctuary.
This intimacy with nature shaped his worldview and inspired his writing. Thoreau's intellectual journey continued at Harvard University, which he entered in 1833. Although he excelled academically, Thoreau often chafed against the rigid structure and traditional curriculum of Harvard. He found himself drawn to the writings of European romantics like Wordsworth and Coleridge, who celebrated the power of nature and the importance of individual expression. It was during his time at Harvard that Thoreau first encountered the ideas of Transcendentalism, a burgeoning philosophical movement that emphasized the inherent goodness of humanity and the importance of intuition and experience over reason and tradition. The works of Ralph Waldo Emerson, a leading figure in the Transcendentalist movement, had a profound impact on Thoreau, sparking in him a desire for a more meaningful and authentic way of life. Despite his reservations about the constraints of formal education, Thoreau graduated from Harvard in 1837. However, rather than pursuing a traditional career path, he chose to embark on a different kind of education, one rooted in experience, observation, and a deep engagement with the natural world. After graduating from Harvard, Thoreau returned to Concord, where he embarked on a period of experimentation and self-discovery. He took on a variety of jobs, including teaching, working in his family's pencil factory, and surveying land. However, none of these pursuits fully satisfied his yearning for a more meaningful and independent existence. During this time, Thoreau continued to write, filling journals with his observations on nature, his reflections on society, and his developing philosophical ideas. He also began to publish essays and poems in literary magazines, gradually honing his craft and finding his voice as a writer. In 1841, Thoreau took a pivotal step in his personal and creative journey when he moved into Ralph Waldo Emerson's home. Living with Emerson and his family, Thoreau became deeply involved in the Transcendentalist circle, engaging in lively discussions and debates about literature, philosophy, and social reform. While Thoreau found intellectual stimulation and camaraderie within the Transcendentalist circle, he also grappled with the contradictions he observed in Concord society. The town, despite its idyllic setting, was not immune to the social and economic forces transforming America. Industrialization was beginning to encroach upon Concord's rural character, and the institution of slavery cast a long shadow over the nation's conscience. Thoreau's observations of these societal ills fueled his growing sense of social responsibility and his belief in the importance of individual action. He became increasingly critical of what he saw as the hypocrisy and materialism of his time, advocating instead for a simpler, more ethical way of life. It was in this context of intellectual ferment, social change, and personal introspection that Thoreau began to formulate the ideas that would shape his most enduring work. His experiences in Concord, both in its natural beauty and its societal complexities, laid the groundwork for his retreat to Walden Pond and his powerful critiques of conformity and injustice. The air in Concord, Massachusetts crackled with a vibrant energy in the mid-19th century. It was the heart of Transcendentalism, a philosophical movement that swept through New England, challenging the rigid norms of the time. At its core, Transcendentalism championed the inherent goodness of humanity and the importance of intuition and personal experience over blind adherence to tradition and dogma. Henry David Thoreau found himself drawn to this movement like a moth to a flame. He had always felt a deep connection to the natural world, a sense of wonder and awe that transcended the confines of traditional religious and societal structures. Transcendentalism gave voice to these feelings, providing a framework for understanding the interconnectedness of all things and the importance of individual conscience. Thoreau's writings, with their lyrical descriptions of nature and their probing examinations of social norms, became infused with the spirit of Transcendentalism. He believed in the power of the individual to transcend the limitations of society and connect with a higher truth through direct experience and communion with nature. No figure played a more significant role in shaping Thoreau's transcendentalist views than Ralph Waldo Emerson.
Emerson, a renowned essayist and philosopher, became Thoreau's mentor, friend, and intellectual sparring partner. Their relationship was one of mutual respect and admiration, fueled by long walks in the Concord woods and endless discussions about philosophy, literature, and the state of the world.
Emerson recognized Thoreau's unique genius, his keen observational skills, and his independent spirit. He encouraged Thoreau's writing, offering him both guidance and a platform for sharing his ideas. Thoreau, in turn, found in Emerson a kindred spirit, someone who understood his yearning for a more authentic and meaningful way of life. Their relationship, however, was not without its complexities. Thoreau, fiercely independent, sometimes chafed under Emerson's influence. He carved his own path, pushing the boundaries of Transcendentalism with his radical ideas about simplicity, civil disobedience, and the need for individuals to live in accordance with their own conscience. For Thoreau, nature was more than just a source of beauty and inspiration. It was a teacher, a guide, and a source of profound spiritual insight. He believed that by immersing oneself in the natural world, one could shed the artificial constraints of society and connect with a deeper truth. His time living in the cabin at Walden Pond was not simply an act of escapism. It was a deliberate experiment in living close to nature, observing its rhythms and learning from its wisdom. In the solitude of the woods, Thoreau found the space to examine his own life, to confront his values, and to discover the essential truths that lay beneath the surface of everyday existence. Thoreau's writings are filled with vivid descriptions of the natural world, from the intricate details of a flower to the awe-inspiring vastness of the night sky. Through his words, he invites us to see the world anew, to appreciate its simple wonders, and to recognize the interconnectedness of all living things. Simplicity, a radical act. In a world driven by material possessions, Thoreau's call for simplicity was radical. He believed that by simplifying our lives, we could free ourselves from consumerism. Thoreau's experiment at Walden Pond was a testament to this belief. He built his own cabin, grew his own food, and lived with only the bare necessities. Echoes of Thoreau in today's world. More than 150 years after his death, Henry David Thoreau's voice continues to resonate with a power and urgency that speaks to the enduring relevance of his ideas. In a world grappling with climate change, social injustice, and the relentless pace of modern life, Thoreau's writings offer a timeless message of hope, resilience, and the transformative power of individual action. His call to simplify our lives, to connect with the natural world, and to resist unjust laws has inspired generations of activists, artists, and everyday citizens seeking to create a more just and sustainable world. Thoreau's legacy is not just about retreating to the woods, but about engaging with the world around us in a meaningful and ethical way. It's about recognizing our interconnectedness with all living things, about taking responsibility for our actions, and about never losing sight of the power of the individual to make a difference. In the heart of Walden Woods, nestled amidst towering pines, stood a small, unassuming cabin. Built by Henry David Thoreau, it became his sanctuary and the birthplace of Walden. Thoreau's retreat in 1845 was a bold experiment in intentional living. He yearned to simplify his life and live deliberately, in harmony with nature. For 2 years, he made Walden Pond his home, growing his own food and recording his thoughts in his journal. Walden is the culmination of this experiment. Walden, a journey of self-discovery. More than just a chronicle of his time in the woods, Walden is a profound meditation on life itself. It is a journey of self-discovery, a quest for meaning in a world consumed by materialism. Thoreau invites readers to join him, challenging them to examine their lives and values. Throughout Walden, Thoreau weaves vivid descriptions of nature with reflections on solitude and simplicity. He encourages readers to find joy in simple things and resist consumerism. Walden is a book to be savored slowly, revealing new insights with each reading. Living deliberately. At the heart of Walden lies Thoreau's call to live deliberately. He believed that too many people sleepwalk through life, caught up in the daily grind, unaware of the beauty and wonder that surrounds them. Thoreau urged his readers to wake up, to pay attention to the present moment, and to make conscious choices about how they lived their lives. For Thoreau, living deliberately meant simplifying one's life, reducing one's needs, and focusing on what truly mattered. It meant spending time in nature, cultivating meaningful relationships, and pursuing one's passions. It meant living in accordance with one's values, even if those values ran counter to societal norms. Walden is a testament to the transformative power of living deliberately. Through his own experiences, Thoreau demonstrates that a simpler, more intentional way of life is not only possible, but can lead to a deeper sense of purpose, fulfillment, and connection to the world around us. Simplicity and self-sufficiency. Thoreau's simple living at Walden Pond was about liberation, not deprivation. By reducing material needs, he created space for writing, contemplation, and nature. Thoreau critiqued civilization's excesses, not rejecting it. Material possessions can become burdens, preventing authentic living. True happiness is found in simplicity, harmony with nature, and unique paths. Walden is a timeless classic, a book that continues to speak to readers across generations and cultures. Its message of simplicity, self-reliance, and the importance of living in harmony with nature has resonated with countless individuals seeking a more meaningful and fulfilling way of life. Thoreau's masterpiece has inspired generations of writers, artists, and activists, from John Muir and Edward Abbey to Wendell Berry and Annie Dillard. Its influence can be seen in the environmental movement, the minimalist movement, and the countless individuals who have sought to simplify their lives and reconnect with the natural world. Walden is more than just a book. It is a testament to the power of ideas to change the world. It is a reminder that a different way of living is possible, a way of life rooted in simplicity, self-reliance, and a deep reverence for the natural world. The year was 1846. America, a young nation, was embroiled in a war with Mexico. Henry David Thoreau took a courageous stand. Thoreau refused to pay a poll tax, supporting the war. This act of civil disobedience landed him in jail. His essay, Civil Disobedience, argues against following unjust laws. Thoreau believed in a higher law of conscience. Thoreau's essay is a passionate defense of the individual's right to resist unjust laws and policies. He argued that governments derive their just powers from the consent of the governed, and when governments enact laws that violate the conscience of the people, it is the duty of the people to withdraw their consent and resist. He challenged the notion that citizens should passively accept laws they deemed immoral or unjust, arguing that silence and inaction in the face of oppression only serve to perpetuate the status quo. Thoreau believed that individuals had a moral obligation to act according to their conscience, even if it meant breaking the law and facing the consequences. Civil disobedience is not a call for anarchy or lawlessness, but rather a call for a more just and equitable society. Thoreau believed that true patriotism lay not in blind obedience to the state, but in holding the state accountable to the principles of justice and equality upon which it was founded. Echoes of Disobedience. Thoreau's essay, though written in the context of 19th century America, has had a profound and lasting impact on social and political movements around the world. Its message of peaceful resistance to unjust laws has resonated with activists and reformers across generations and continents. From Mahatma Gandhi's nonviolent resistance movement in India to Martin Luther King Jr.'s struggle for civil rights in the United States, Thoreau's ideas have provided a moral and philosophical framework for challenging oppression and demanding social change. His words have echoed through the decades, inspiring countless individuals to stand up for what they believe in, no matter the cost. Thoreau's legacy of civil disobedience is not confined to history books. It continues to inspire contemporary movements for social justice, from climate activism to LGBTQ+ rights. His words remind us that the fight for a more just and equitable world is an ongoing struggle, one that requires courage, conviction, and a willingness to challenge the status quo. A legacy of conscience. Thoreau's civil disobedience is a testament to the power of individual conscience to challenge injustice. It is a call to action, reminding us we are active participants in shaping the world. Thoreau's words resonate today, urging vigilance, courage, and speaking truth to power. His legacy reminds us to create a just world guided by conscience and compassion. A timeless legacy. Henry David Thoreau's journey ended far too soon, his life cut short by tuberculosis at the age of 44. Yet, in his brief time on earth, he left an indelible mark on American thought and literature. His writings, once considered radical and controversial, have become classics, studied in classrooms and cherished by readers around the world. Thoreau's legacy is multifaceted, encompassing his contributions to literature, his philosophical insights, and his enduring influence on social and political movements. He was a gifted writer, a keen observer of both the natural world and the human condition. His prose, often lyrical and evocative, continues to captivate readers with its beauty and its timeless wisdom. But Thoreau was more than just a wordsmith. He was a thinker, a questioner, a challenger of conventional wisdom. His writings are infused with a deep moral conviction, a belief in the inherent goodness of humanity, and the importance of living a life true to one's values. Walden's ripple effect. Thoreau's experiment at Walden Pond, once seen as an eccentric retreat from society, has taken on a new resonance in the 21st century. His call to simplify our lives, to connect with nature, and to resist the soul-crushing demands of consumerism has found a receptive audience in a world grappling with environmental degradation, social isolation, and a pervasive sense of spiritual emptiness. Walden is no longer just a book. It's a touchstone, a guidebook for those seeking a more intentional and fulfilling way of life. Its message of self-reliance, mindfulness, and living in harmony with nature has inspired countless individuals to downsize their possessions, reduce their ecological footprint, and prioritize experiences over material goods. Thoreau's influence extends far beyond the realm of personal transformation. His writings, particularly Civil Disobedience, have had a profound impact on social and political movements worldwide. His ideas about nonviolent resistance to unjust laws have inspired generations of activists, from Mahatma Gandhi to Martin Luther King Jr.